Hi there. Welcome to your very first flipped classroom. These are pretty cool. I try to do them once a week, maybe. But now that we're doing so much tech, maybe we won't do them once a week. But you'll get them quite a bit, and we really do enjoy our flipped classroom time. So you need to make sure you have a whiteboard and a marker for this first piece. You're already listening to me, so that means you got your headphones set up and you're in Google Classroom. So we are moving standards. We're moving into a thing called factors and multiple. Factors are GCF, so you guys kind of already took a test on this, but I'll write in red for you today, guys. So GCF, okay, and multiples are LCM. This stands for greatest common factor, and multiples usually is LCM, which is least common multiple, okay? So if you see those things, that's what you guys got to think about, all right? So I'm going to take that away. All right, so we're going to talk about factors, and this is a great representation. So for this first piece, you don't necessarily have to do anything but watch, but we're going to draw trees, all right? I know this sounds funky, but say you get something, a question, and a lot of times you'll get questions that says, what is the GCF and the LCM of, well, today we've got 8 and 6. All right. So here's one option, a very visual option for you. I'm a very visual person, so I need to see things. I can't really talk about them, do them in my head. I want to see them. And so factors are roots. All right. So we got these lines that represent roots going into the tree, and roots go into the tree, right? And just like factors, factors go into a number. So we look at our number as are the base of our tree, and factors are our roots. Okay, they go into the base of our tree. So what are the numbers? Think of all the different numbers that can go into 8. Well, obviously, always 1. I can think of 2. I can think of 4, and I can think of 8. All right. So 1, 2, 4, and 8 all go into 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. In any version of it, 8 times 1 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay. So these are my factors of 8. And then we want to look at the leaves. You guys got your leaves sitting here. See them all over here. Leaves in a tree come out, right? So multiples, as you can see here, multiples are what comes out of a number. And I like to tell my kids that's like skip counting. Okay, that's like skip counting by 8. So multiples of 8 would be 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and 48. And we could go on and on and on and on and on, right? But I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we're just going to know that the difference between factors and multiples are this visual aid. Factors go into a number, multiples come out. So the same thing for 6. Let's think of all the factors that can go into 6. What are all the numbers that can go into 6? 1, 2, 3, and 6. All right, so all those numbers can go into 6. And then we can start skip counting by 6 for our multiples. What are the multiple 6s? More than one 6, right? So we can always start with the number 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, and we'll finish with 42. All right, and we could go on and on and on and on and on. Well, now let's talk about what the greatest common factor is. So that means we want the biggest number that goes both into 8 and 6. Obviously, 1 goes into both of them, but is that the biggest one? We have to see. Right now, I can look at it and go, no, 2 also goes into 8. 2 also goes into 6. So 2 is bigger than 1, so we'd go there. Do we see another number? 4, I don't see a 4 over here. 8, I don't see an 8 over here. I got a 3, I don't see 1 over here, and a 6 over here. So right now, by listing all my factors of each number, the largest one for each of them is 2. So that makes 2 my greatest common factor. Okay, biggest. Now we're changing gears here, and now we want the least common multiple. So we want the biggest factor and the smallest multiple, all right? Okay, so biggest thing I like to do is I just like to work my way around. 8, 6, no, 16, 12, 20, up, nailed it, right there, 24. Starting at the bottom and working my way around. Smallest number to largest number should run into 24. I don't have anything smaller, so that means 24 is my least common multiple. Okay, so that's not too bad. That one works pretty good. Okay, so this is one way to do factors and multiples. All right, GCF and LCM. Let's practice on our own. Okay, so the next page you have, I cut mine in half. So now you're ready. Okay, so now I want you to draw 2 trees on your whiteboard. Go ahead and pause me and write LCM and GCF. I want you to literally mimic this on your whiteboard. Pause me, and then when it's ready, press play again. So now you should have your LCM, GCF, and your 2 trees. Now I'm going to give you your 2 numbers, okay? I'm going to go back to my red. Your 2 numbers I want you to use today is I want you to use, let's go with 12, okay? And let's go with 8. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to find our factors, our roots. What are all the numbers that can go into 12? Well, obviously 1 can, 2 can, 3 can, 4 can, 6 can, and 12. Make sure I didn't miss any. 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, now let's just jump over here to the 8. Let's do all the factors while we're thinking factors. 1 can go into 8. 2 can go into 8. 4 can go into 8. And obviously 8 can go into 8. And before we figure out the LCM and GCF, let's go into our least common multiples. Let's start skip counting. Okay, so remember, least common multiples, multiple of your number. So we're going to start skip counting by 12s, 24, 36, that's right, I think, 48. I'm going to stop at 60. I guarantee you there's going to be one that 8 runs into before 60, okay? And let's do the 8s. 8, we just did this. 8, 16, 24. Do I need to keep going? If you're listening and you're listening well, I don't need to keep going. That's the nice part, is if you do it well the first time, the second number you can stop the minute something matches. Look at that. So 24 matches, and it is the smallest one on my page. Okay? Now, remember, greatest. So we did the smallest multiple. Now we want the greatest factor. 1 never counts unless there's no other option, right? So don't start with 1. I see 2. I see 2. There's an option. Oh, I see 4. I see 4. Do you see an 8? Don't see an 8. Don't see a 6. Don't see a 12. So that means that today it changed a little bit. Now this number, the GCF, is 4. Okay, so here's one way that you guys can find the GCF and the LCM by drawing a picture, drawing in the roots, and drawing in the leaves to represent your least common multiple and your greatest common factor. I'm going to teach you a quick way, okay? So I'm going to teach you 2 ways today, and you can decide which one. So you can do our tree, or we'll just use 12 and 8 again, okay? So erase your whiteboard, and we're going to do what I like to call is just a basic T-chart. And I label them GCF, and then I put my 2 numbers, 8 and 12. And then I do another one for my least common multiple, and 8 and 12. So I create 2 T-charts. Okay, that one's a little gross. All right, so I know factors are my roots, so those are the numbers that go into it. So I always start with 1, 2, 4, and 8. And I always start with 12, so I'm going to, now 12, same thing, start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. And then I circle them. So I'll do the least common, let's do this, we'll just finish here. So then I'm going to circle the smallest one, and I like to circle like, so 1 and 1, yeah, 2, 2, yeah, 4, 3, no, 4, 4. Yep. So then I can circle it right there. There's my GCF. Greatest common factor. Makes sense? Because 8 and 6 don't match, 8 and 12 don't match, so that is my biggest one. Okay? So that's one way to do it. And then I just do the same thing. So skip counting with my LCM. So 8, 16, 24, 32, and I'll stop at 40 this time. Same thing, I'm going to skip count. Always start with the number. 12, 24. Oh, I'm paying attention. I'm looking at both sides while I do it. I see it. Least common multiple. Boom. So either way you like it, I just did the right answer. All right. So I found the right answer either through drawing my tree or doing my T-chart. It is super important that you know your math facts. Okay. That's why we push it so much. Okay. So that if you don't know your math facts, you are going to struggle a little bit on this, and that's okay. All right. So now you have a worksheet. All right, and then when you're done watching this video, you're going to be instructed to go to the worksheet. It's in Google Classroom, okay? And it's going to allow you to practice using your GCF and your LCM for multiple numbers, okay? And there's tons and tons and tons of practice. It is not due today, but it will be due tomorrow, okay? So make sure you're working hard. Make sure you're asking good questions. Use your whiteboard. You can use the T-chart or the tree. Try them both. See which one you like the most, okay? And then I'll be here tomorrow, and you guys and I will work on this. We will have a dipstick tomorrow to see if it has stuck in the last 2 days, okay? All right, so remember, if you're still confused, watch the video again. If you're still confused, ask the substitute for some help or some clarification. If that still seems to be an issue, I will be here tomorrow, and we will get you rocking and rolling. Hope you guys had a good break, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.